Hello, everybody. I just wanted to record a quick video on how to use Interact to actually run a full simulation and put in the occupations dictionary because we'll need that. So first, you'll want to go wherever you have stored the Interact application on your computer, either on your desktop or in a downloads folder or something, and open that. So now this should be familiar to you. This is sort of like the main page. You want to go ahead and switch this to the USA Combined Surveyor 2015 dictionary. And then actually, before we do anything else, we need to go to operations and then import export. And then you'll have to go over to the course website, which is here. And there's this link now on February 10th for tomorrow's day. And one of them says aux text file. And if you click on that, you'll end up on this page with just a bunch of the identities and then their EPA in this particular format. And what you'll want to do is press Control A if you're on a Windows computer, or Command A if you're on Mac, and then copy all of that and go back to Interact. And on this import export operations page, you'll just paste that right there and press import entries below. It might take a second, but once you have the done, then you're okay. So that's perfect. So now we can navigate back to that first page where we can pick identities by going to define interactants. Define situation. I always do that. So now the good thing is we see all of our occupational identities here, which is what we need. So if we actually want to go about running a simulation, what we would do is first pick our identities, our actor and our object. So usually person 1 here is the actor and person 2 will be your object. So first, let's just pick the first 2 identities to make it easy. We might say our actor is the 911 dispatcher, and we see we can get their EPA there. And person 2, once we switch that, we'll make them the accountant. And now perfect. And so now if you go over to the operations again and go from define situation to define events, then you get to the page that has all of the behaviors. And so we can pick one. How about let's just do call. And then you can actually change which one is your actor and object, but it's easiest, I think, just to leave actor as 1 and person or object as 2. But the last thing you want to do on this page is insert this event, and you'll know that it's gone well once you have that event in this text box here. So our next step is we go to analyze events. And once we're here on this page, the only thing you have to do is just navigate over here and just click on the event, and you'll see a bunch of stuff comes up. But the most relevant for the lab and for tomorrow and just until lab 3 pretty much is just the deflection. And so you can see the deflection ranges from 0 to 30 on the graphics, but it can actually get higher. But generally, lower deflections are more expected events, higher deflection is less expected events. So you can see we can record our deflection is 1.9. So that's how you run a single simulation. So we could do that again if we're interested in running something just to see maybe a higher deflection event. Is if we want to change those, we just go back to define situation and we pick say bookkeeper as our object, and our person is let's see, would be something interesting. Musician, or yeah, musician. And then we can define events, and then we'll just pick kind of a negative powerful things that will be unexpected. Let's see, how about deceive? It's very negative. So let's put that one in there. Oh, and the other thing is sometimes it'll save your events in between. And so if you want to get rid of one, you just erase it. And there we go. The only important thing is you want to make sure that there's no line left over here. It'll not be happy with that. So just make sure that it gets all the way to the top. So then finally we go over to analyze events and just click on it. And we see the deflection is 18.1. It's also programmed to change the facial expressions. So the higher the deflection, the more upset they'll look. Yeah, and so you can also start, we're going to talk more about it next week about exactly what's going on with how it's predicting the emotions and the behaviors and the labels. But you can go ahead and start looking at them. It's kind of interesting. So after a musician deceives the bookkeeper, we think that the actor emotions are probably they're hostile or angry. Object emotions, there's not enough measured things, but it's interesting anyway. Yeah, so that is basically how to run a simulation. And for this lab, all you'll really need to do is report here. So you'll want to put them all together there.